I don't know what I'm doing. Welcome back, guys. Today we're airing out the E30 for the first time. So in order to air out the E30 for the first time, we need to set up the management and put the wheels back on. So the first thing that I'm going to do is run the wiring harness. So the first part of wiring is starting with your whole wiring harness, organize it from the back of the car to the front of the car. Once you've done that, you can go ahead and set the back of the wiring harness into the trunk and grab the front of the leads. So I'm going to take all my leads and run them through the grommet back here that goes through the back firewall. So now that you're in the cabin, you could actually go ahead and dump off your controller wire and continue fishing the rest of the wires through your firewall. What I'm going to do, the previous owner popped that out already, so I'm just going to fish my lines through here. So now that we're through the firewall, you go ahead and take these apart, and you got your REM wire, which goes to your fuse box, and then your power and ground. Airlift Performance gives you this little fuse holder. It goes into there, and then you could tap into the fuse box with this and butt in to your REM wire. For the management to actually work, you need to find a fuse that turns on when you turn on the key. So I'm gonna go ahead and solder my REM wire. For the REM wire, you're going to go ahead and use number 5 on the fuse box. And then you could come connect your power wires. What I found best is some eyelets that fit around terminal bolts. So before you connect your positive to your battery, you actually need to throw an inline fuse. So we got all the wiring done up front. Let's move to the back. So in the rear, you're gonna have your compressor wires, your relay, and your manifold wire. To connect my compressor positive and negative, I'm just gonna use some butt connectors. So after you have your power and negative connected on your compressor, you can go ahead and throw your relay. You can either screw it into your trunk, or I'm just gonna leave it dangling for now. Now you can go ahead and take your compressor lead and screw it into your tank. So after you got your compressor lined up in your tank, you go ahead and drill out some holes for your new airlines. them haters away. So after you got your holes drilled, you go ahead and fish your lines through, 2 on the driver's side and 2 on the passenger side. Before you actually fish through everything, you can go ahead and mark your lines so you know which order to put them on the manifold. So I've got my first airline ran through. I'm just gonna go ahead and connect it to my leader line. I'm gonna go ahead and fish my other rear bag in. So same on the other side, you go ahead, put your airline into your leader line. Now I'm gonna run my front driver's side airline. Now that I have my front airline out, I can go ahead and run it with my fuel lines. So once you have it ran through along your fuel lines, you can go ahead and plug in your front strip. What I'm gonna do to hold my airline up is just zip tie it to the fuel lines and to other places so I don't rub on my tires. So on the very rear of my front airline, I'm gonna go ahead and zip tie it to my exhaust hanger till I find a better spot to actually hang it from or even make a bracket. So we're gonna send our airline all the way to the front. So just like the other side, we're gonna try and zip tie at as many locations as we can. Make sure you guys leave enough slack in your airlines so when your air ride's actually traveling, you're not overextending your airlines. So I'm gonna go ahead and zip tie it to this rear brace over here. There's really not much to zip tie on this side, so I'm gonna have to make some brackets. For temporary and a first air out, this will do. So on your manifold, it goes driver front, passenger front, driver rear, passenger rear, your intake from your tank, and then exhaust. So on your water trap side, you're gonna have a line that goes to the actual manifold, and at the bottom of your water trap, depending on what water trap you have, you're going to have a drain. So on my water trap, it goes to the manifold and your drain. And then all I have to do now is run my drain and my exhaust dump. I'll take my drain and my exhaust and just fish it through the holes that I drilled. So now that I have all my airlines ran and my dumps ran, all you gotta do is hook up your manifold, go turn on the car, let the tank fill up, and do your first air out. So while we're waiting for the tank to fill up, I'm gonna go ahead and put all the wheels on. Make sure you have air in your bags when you go to let this out. Otherwise, when you take it off the jack stands, you're not gonna be able to get your jack out. So that's going to conclude it for today's video. I have a few more things to button up, but other than that, the E30's aired out.